Hey guys, just going to give you guys kind of a overview of what we went over in class today. I forgot to start the recorder while I was in there, so we're just going to do it this route. I'm going to do a little bit of screen sharing with you. We're going to go over the syllabus and all that. But I just asked everyone how their summer was going, how it went, whether anybody had any situations with COVID, etc. Then just to kind of go into the semester, I gave them a little overview from the syllabus and kind of what we're going to be doing, what the purpose of this class is regarding putting everything together. And that's what this one is for. The 262, obviously that was the intro to TR. And then we moved into assessments where you're looking at how we see what people need as far as recreation programming and how we see whether or not what we are implementing is effective or not. Then we talked about procedures. We had a class, where we talked about what type of activities we could do, how we run those, best ways, practices of running our programs when you're actually a practitioner. This course, 473, per the title, it's Supervision and Administration of TR Programs, which is basically now, if you come through all of this program, you get your CTRS certification, there's a possibility that you could get a job as lead of a recreation therapy department. So this class is about how do we lead, how would we manage a recreation therapy program, and that's the goal for this course. So I'm gonna pause for just one moment while I get something pulled up, okay? All right, I'm back and I'm going to share my screen now, and we're going to talk a little bit about the syllabus. So hopefully now you are looking at my screen. Some of the main things that I talked about with them is, if you follow my cursor, I'll be pointing at some things along the way. We're looking at the procedures for assessment, program planning, implementation, documentation, and evaluation, and the supervision and administration of TR programs and institutions, community settings, and interdisciplinary levels, such as, I think interdisciplinary levels, you've all heard me talk about the NMRC where I used to work. That was a grand example of interdisciplinary, where we would have team meetings each week. You had somebody from each discipline, whether it be nursing, nutrition, psychology, all the different groups. We're around a table and we're talking about what we're doing for the clients and what's best to help them. So that's another level that we could be working in. And we'll look down at the course goals. Now, y'all can read this, but I'm just want to run over a few of the important things. We're gonna, this course, whether you end up going the recreation therapy route for a job or not, it will apply regardless of what you end up going into if you are in an administrative setting. Now, we'll talk specifically about recreation therapy, but we're going to talk about things like regulatory and legal compliance. We'll talk about operations and maintenance, budgeting, finances, marketing. Some situations you may be working in a facility where you don't have a marketing department, and you may be in charge of marketing your program. So we'll be talking about that. Strategic planning, risk and safety management, quality management, where you're looking to see if what you are offering to your clientele is appropriate, how it could be improved, etc. Human resource development, such as hiring processes, and professional development, where you're talking about going to conferences, doing reading, things that you can improve yourself and the people that work for you. So we'll move to learning outcomes. On number 2 there, it has, you'll demonstrate the ability to balance cost and quality. So you need to find that balance of, most places where you will be employed will be asking you to provide quality programming at a minimum cost. So you have to be able to balance the quality that you provide with the amount of money that you have available. So how can we make good programs while staying within our budget? That's something to look at also. You're going to be on number 3. You'll demonstrate the ability to manage the practice of therapeutic recreation within legal and ethical requirements of the agency and the profession. And if you'll remember, ATRA has a code of ethics, and we'll go back over that again just as a review. You want to be able to evaluate your program for effectiveness and efficiency. We've already kind of talked about that. You'll use standards of practice and ethical codes when directing the design of your programs. Number 7, something that I hope to do is I want you guys to help create memorandums of understandings, which are kind of like contracts with various agencies that can be used as future therapeutic rec intern sites. There's not a ton here in North Mississippi, so we want to expand the horizon as far as the number of places where you guys can go for recreation therapy internships, because it has to be under a CTRS. So we want to get some understandings with some of these different facilities where we'll have more options of where you guys can go. Now, you can, by you guys helping me with this, you can kind of say you speak to some specific sites and say, hey, I'm a student at the University of Mississippi studying recreation therapy. We're trying to set up some internships, and we were hoping that we could set up the potential to do internships with you. At that, with you guys doing some of that, you'll be making contacts and kind of have your foot in the door also. So that's a good thing. We'll probably do some things in class, like some marketing campaigns, not just for hypothetical situations like you're working in the real world, but also maybe for our therapeutic recreation program here. Good news is we have around 100 people already signed up for the minor, so it's taking off. It's going very well so far. So thank you guys for helping to break the seal and get us started off to a strong start. Another thing that we'll talk about are, what are some appropriate degrees and minors that would go together to pair together with a high job success rate. Exercise science and recreation therapy is a good pair. Sport and rec and recreation therapy is a good pair. Gerontology and therapeutic rec is a nice pairing. What are some other things that we could combine that would be good to work together? So I do need you guys to get the recommended text. You can get the 2nd edition, the 3rd edition. Just make sure that you get the book, because that's one of the main things that we will do for sure. We've been cut a little short on time by the semester being shortened, but we're going to cover this book. We're going to go through the chapters, and I'm going to ask you to read chapters prior to coming to class, and when we discuss the things, you'll be familiar with what we're talking about. So as far as obligations, the ones that were there today were given I had to do a safe distancing layout seating assignments. So when you guys are able to make it, we'll have to assign you a seat. That's one thing that will happen. Please read the assigned materials before the class, like we said. Come in ready to discuss the topics. Let's see. As far as number 4, it talks about using APA format. I am not going to have an APA manual in front of me, but if you do end up having to do any writing for this course, you need to do citations. I need to know where you're getting your information from, okay? Also, conduct yourself ethically, not just by the university standards, but by NCTRC and ATRA. Don't plagiarize. If you do, it'll probably get caught, and we don't want a situation like that. Now, the vision statement, I'm not going to read it out to you. It's very wordy and lengthy, but it tells you kind of exactly what this course is going to cover moving forward. Then you get into this next portion where we talk about departmental manuals, comprehensive programs. These are the type things that I would like to work on primarily in class. Don't worry about starting these things yet or anything. I will let you know kind of how we're going to move forward with these things, okay? Also, the points may not be exactly correct at this point because everything's very fluid with this whole COVID situation, and we have to see how everything plays out. So otherwise, for next class, I'd like for you guys to read chapters 1 and 2. We're going to cover that. We're going to go over, review the API process. I know that you should know that, but just as a little boost to your memory, we're going to go back through that one more time on Thursday and hopefully get into chapters 1 and 2 possibly, but definitely read those chapters for me. That's really what you missed today. Don't pay a whole lot of attention to these course outline and readings, because like I say, we're just going to go on our own schedule according to how the semester goes. I've got dates on here that are past the time that the semester will be over. So obviously this is not going to be accurate. I left the syllabus as it was because it fit our program for CTR certification and accreditation. So I didn't want to mess with that, but we may tweak what we do in the class. So anyway, don't go by this course outline and reading area. Just go by what I tell you each time when we have class, and you will be good. So anyway, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Now let me figure out how to unsave my screen. Here we go. So anyway, looking forward to seeing you guys. It was nice to see all of the other students today, so I'm looking forward to seeing you as well. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see you soon.